Yes, guys, we're back. Another transfer update show for you guys today. Big up everybody that has locked into Chelsea Fan TV. Smash the like and subscribe button. We're aiming for 500 likes in this video. So if you guys haven't done so already, hit the button, press the subscribe button, hit the bell notification button as well to be the first to know whenever we release any new content. And there's plenty to delve into in this video. We're going to be talking about a potential Werner and Gvardiol swap deal. We're going to talk about the realism of the sort of deal, and also what's happening in terms of Chelsea's transfer targets, and are we having a structured move for players, or are we just winging it? Because I'm very confused right now. But we'll delve into that. We're also going to talk about Wesley Fofana, with Chelsea apparently looking to make a very quick first offer for him. But we'll discuss the realism of that transfer target as well. We're going to talk about Slonina. I hope I didn't butcher his name, but the Chicago Fire goalkeeper that we have just signed, or we just got the Here We Go on. Links with Adama Traore as well. And then we're going to be talking about Thomas Tuchel's transfer targets for the rest of the window. Plenty to get into in this video. So, as always, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, press the bell notification button as well. Let me know your thoughts on everything down in the description below. We're going to try to respond to as many of you guys' comments as possible. And yeah, let's get straight into it. We'll start off with Adama Traore. What's his name? Andreas Corson said Adama Traore is a player Chelsea are considering for the right wing-back position. However, no talks have even started with Wolves yet, and Thomas Tuchel is a huge fan of the player. Now, it does seem a bit vague, I will say that, but Adama Traore's name has been linked with Chelsea a lot over the last year, and as a wing-back option, I don't think he'd be the worst option for us. I've already said I feel like he's a Ruben Loftus-Cheek sort of player where he's as good as the team that's around him. And I think at Wolves, he did well when he had Jimenez next to him. When he lost Jimenez, when he had that head injury, he struggled. Barcelona, he was all right in phases as well, but he played as a winger. I think as a wing-back, you could get a lot out of him in terms of driving the ball forward. His take-ons are utterly ridiculous. The end product still leaves a bit to be desired, but there are products in the middle that he can deal with. Havertz is good with his head. That could be a potential link up there too. I do feel like the end product is the only thing I'm a little bit worried about. But other than that, if the fee's good, which I do think it is, I do think we could get Traore for under 20 million. That's from what I've heard at the very least. But I think it would be a decent option for us. It would either be him or potentially using Loftus-Cheek as depth. And even though I was happy with his performance in the last game against Udinese, he has been a bit inconsistent in that position. So if we could get an Adama Traore as well, I think you up the competition for that position. And I think it would be a decent move for us. Let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. There's not a lot of concrete links surrounding him, but it's a player that we've been linked with a lot over the last year. So I thought it'd be something that was worth discussing. I'd be down for it if the fee was under £20 million. But let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. We'll go to the Werner news as well, because this is interesting. Chelsea are trying for a swap deal with RB Leipzig, Timo Werner and cash for Josko Gvardiol, as told by Fabrizio Romano. Gvardiol is considered untouchable by Leipzig, but is high on Tuchel's list. And Juve, Newcastle and Leipzig also have, well, Juve and Newcastle also have interest in Werner as well. And Chelsea, like we already said, are trying for cash plus Timo Werner for Gvardiol. Now, I don't know how much Timo Werner would take off this deal, but if he is considered untouchable, then it will probably be good to try and take at least 15, maybe 20 million off with Timo Werner on it. It all depends on how Chelsea value the player. For us, like my personal opinion, if you can get 20, 25 for him, I'm happy. Because, especially for the Bundesliga, maybe you could up that to 30 million because you know he's going to bang there. And RB Leipzig know exactly what they're getting with Werner as well, because he absolutely balled out with them before he joined us. But for Gvardiol, though, like that makes it a bit confusing because it's not a forward-for-forward replacement. So for us, it means we have to go in for a forward now as soon as Werner leaves. And in the case of Leipzig, they got to go for a centre-back as well. So it all depends on how much they value him. And if they value him as untouchable, we could still be looking at potentially 50 million plus Timo Werner or something along the lines of that, which I still would be fine with. Gvardiol, I think, is a brilliant defender already, and the only weaknesses in his game are weaknesses that could easily be coached out of him. So if that's the case for Gvardiol, I'm 100% for it. My only worry is that I don't really know what we're doing in terms of defenders. Like, we're going to go to Fofana in a little second as well, but if we're pursuing both Gvardiol and Fofana, even though it's not realistic that we're going to get the pair of them, because the price tag would be absolutely ridiculous, then what is the plan for us in terms of centre-backs? Because all this is telling me is that we don't really know where we're going to play Koulibaly, and then what's the tactics in terms of playing out the back? Because if we play Fofana, if we sign Fofana and get him, Koulibaly would be playing on the left. If we signed Gvardiol, it would mean Koulibaly would be playing more on the right. And then it's just making a bit of a confusion because it feels like we're just winging it. We're not really planning our defence. Like, are we focusing on a right-sided centre-back or are we focusing on a left-sided centre-back? And regardless of whatever, we're going to shoehorn Koulibaly into it. And it's fine regardless because Koulibaly's a baller and he's going to make any position work. But it just feels like we're just going after a bunch of targets and then just picking whatever sticks. And I understand it after the transfer window that we've had and like Bowley leaving, Bowley coming in, Marina leaving, Czech leaving. Like, it's a rush. We are in a major rush, but it's just a small point of concern for me. But let me know you guys' thoughts. I'm still here for Gvardiol for a Timo Werner swap deal. I think it benefits us massively. All depends on how much Leipzig value Werner at, but if it's anything below 20 million, then I don't know. I feel like we're going to get fleeced on this one. But Gvardiol's one for the future, so I ain't going to say too much. Let's move to Fofana because I've read from L'Equipe, Chelsea will quickly make a first offer to Leicester City for Wesley Fofana. They do not want to waste time on this position. If a price is put forward that is fair to the Leicester management, they do not oppose to his departure. Fofana knows that he will have more chances to play in the World Cup if he plays in the Champions League. Chelsea have already tried to sign 3 French internationals. Koundé has gone to Barca, obviously. Pavard has decided to stay at Bayern. And Paris has refused the first offers for Kimpembe. Leicester already count on Fofana and they re-signed him till 2027. And Fofana arrived in the Premier League 2 years ago for 35 million euros from Saint Etienne. That puts the price tag on a transfer that won't go below 60 million. Chelsea face competition from Man City and potentially PSG as well. Fabrizio also said Fofana negotiations with Leicester will be difficult, yet to be seen whether Chelsea comes with an official proposal. Now, I like Fofana. I would love him at Chelsea. I think his potential is literally to the moon. But this is a massive waste of time, in my opinion, because we're just not getting Fofana. Not unless we're willing to put 85 million on the table. I don't understand why we're wasting our time with this one, personally, when there's other options that are more realistic. Like, Fofana, like we already said, has signed a 5-year deal literally this year. This thing I read about a transfer that won't go below 60 million euros, I believe, is waffle. There is no way Leicester City accept about 55 to 50 million for Wesley Fofana on a 5-year contract with how good he's been for them and how bad they were last season too. They've got a lot of catching up to do. They were a team pushing the top 4 sides just over a year ago and they finished, 11th, 12th this year? Like, there is no way they're selling their best centre-back right now. Not unless they literally bend us over a barrel for 85 million and they will demand it all up front. It's not going to be on an instalment plan. You have to pay 85 straight immediately. So to me, it's not a realistic transfer to make. Like, fair play, it's a good target to look at, but it's not realistic at all. So I just don't really get the point. Drop one bid, test the waters if you want. It looks like what we're going to do, but it's pointless. Like, we're not going to get him. I'd be very, very surprised if we pull this transfer off. Even more surprised if we pull it off for a decent fee. Like, I'm expecting 80, 85, maybe even more. Because that's how high Leicester City value him. 60 million euros is waffle. There is no way, especially to another Premier League club, he goes for that fee. But let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. Slonina, we finally got the here we go on him. Agreement with Chicago Fire for $50 million. Add-ons included. Talented goalkeeper and his agent will fly to London on Sunday to complete the medical and sign. And he will finish the season with Chicago before joining Chelsea on January the 1st. One of the highest ranked youth goalkeepers in the world. Seems like a good signing. One for the future. Not going to act like I've even watched Chicago Fire play. But I don't expect him to be in the squad anyway. He's probably going to go on loan for a year or two. Maybe if he has a good short loan he could potentially be competition for Mendy, because I'm questioning him a little bit right now. But it's a decent transfer for us. Have to see how he turns out over the next few years, but we can't speculate too much for him. Seems like a good move, and hope the best for him. Welcome to Chelsea Football Club, my guy. The last bit of news I want to say is from Nizar Kinsella, where he said 3 more signings, 2 central defenders and a wing-back are being targeted by Chelsea before the transfer window closes next month. And that's from Nizar. And I get the defender, I get the wing-back as well. 100% we need a wing-back. But how do you watch that pre-season, watch us potentially lose Werner and Ziyech? Like, we've already heard of the links with him. AC Milan and Ziyech talks are still progressing, and Ziyech has already said he's trying to leave the club. Respectfully, but he's still trying to leave the club. We need forwards. We 100% need forwards. Like, we had decent attacking play from Havertz, Sterling and Mount in the last game against Udinese. But other than that, we've looked so poor going forward. And then we need to talk about the midfield as well, because we need to get better midfielders if we want to be able to interchange between a 4 at the back and a 5 at the back. Every time we played 4 at the back, we haven't looked good enough, personally. So to me, 2 centre-backs shouldn't be the option right now. I don't mind us getting 2 centre-backs, but in my personal opinion, if we have 1, we sort out our starting back 5. And I don't mind relying on Chalobah, Sarr, Ampadu or Levi Colwill for the other positions, because it breeds competition between the 4 of them. And to me, like, Ampadu looked solid in pre-season when he played at the back. Levi Colwill does have a lot of potential, even though, like, he hasn't really shone this pre-season. And I know Chalobah's looked terrible this pre-season too, but, like, I'm trying not to gauge everything based off that. Although I know he didn't look good anyway. But I still think there's other priorities that need to be made. We have strengthened our defence. If we get a second one, we've gone back to the strength that we had at last season. We now need to get forwards. We now need to focus on wing-backs and other areas of the squad, because our attack still doesn't look good enough. Still doesn't. And I still think we need a goal scorer. I'd say we need 2 or 3 forwards. I just know it's not realistic. So I would rather we just get 1 in that position and I would be okay for the season. 1 centre-back, 2, potentially a wing-back. Maybe a midfielder if we're lucky. But if we can get 1 or 2 of those positions, then that's okay. But for me, 2 centre-backs, we shouldn't be focusing on only the back line right now. There has to be other areas that we focus on. But guys, this is the end of yet another transfer update video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV. And we are out. Peace and up the Chelsea.